who have come to this 1515 Cheonshim Won vigil. Today, more than 34,000 places connected with us, and 72,600 brothers and sisters have gathered to offer prayer and devotion. From Heavenly Korea, Cheonwon Special District, 272 have come. Cheongsung Church, 120. Gangnam Church, as they come to 600 vigil, they have brought 100 members offering prayer and devotion together in one home. Summer University 80, Iksan, Cheonan, in this order, more members offering prayer and devotion. Heavenly Japan, through Zoom and through YouTube, they have the greatest number of attendees. Nagano Church, they have gathered in 16 different houses to hold a vigil. And this vigil is becoming a vigil that connects to worldwide. And Pohang Church is there 700, Jincheon is there 600, Mungyong Church is there 700, Dongchangwon Church 550th, Yongin Church 500th vigil. And they are piling up devotion after devotion. And tonight, 1,721st weekend workshop will begin. 1,599 have joined and registered for the workshop. And from Suwon Church, 45 have come. From Pyeongtaek Church, they borrowed the bus, and 40 of them have come to the training center, and I am grateful for that. And in front of the detention center, our members offering devotion, endless devotion, and I'm very grateful. Thank you. And today, centering on Four Position Foundation, True Family Four Position Foundation, Song Yong-chun and Kim In-shik, various other leaders have come to gather their devotion, and I am grateful for that. Because of the time, I will not share other words, but I would like to share President Hori Masaichi's message, and I would like to read on behalf. Heavenly Parent, true parents of heaven earth, the humankind, true family, Four Position Foundation, and inheritors heaven's love and blessing, respected leaders and members all around the world, beloved blessed families and members across the world, and members who are gathering your heart in prayers at Cheonshim Won during this deep night. At this moment, no matter where you are in the world, I believe we all stand with one heart before Heavenly Parent. First, I speak to you on behalf of Heavenly Japan. I offer my sincere apologies for causing great shock and concern to members throughout the world due to this recent incident. As you know well, on March 4th, the Tokyo High Court made the decision to uphold the dissolution order against the Family Federation. Throughout the trial, we appealed our position regarding the issue of religious freedom, a fundamental pillar of human society from the perspective of the Constitution and international human rights. However, our arguments were not accepted. As a result, the Family Federation of Japan has now entered the legal procedure of liquidation as a corporation. On the day the ruling was delivered, I intended to carefully review the judgment regardless of the outcome and prepare the statement scheduled for 4 p.m. However, immediately after the ruling, I received a call from the attorneys, liquidation attorneys, and only an hour later I found myself sitting across from them in a situation where I had to enter directly into the liquidation work. At that same hour, liquidation arrived at over 200 church facilities across the nation. In each church, explanations were given, and basically, it became a situation where personal belongings had to be organized and facilities evacuated within that very day. Looking at this flow, the ruling was not merely an announcement to inform of the trial's result. It was nothing more than the ringing of a bell to commence an action to seize everything of the Family Federation all at once. The Family Federation does not agree with this ruling. However, we are not in a position to oppose the enforcement of the law itself. Therefore, I sent an official document to churches nationwide to respond sincerely to the liquidators and to avoid causing any confusion. As a result, not a single instance of trouble occurred across the country that day. On the contrary, the following day, we even heard words of gratitude from those involved regarding our response. I think like this. Perhaps the victory we must win in the future is precisely this kind of victory. We are not fighting against the state. What we are appealing is the error in the judgment the state has passed upon us. Unfortunately, however, that voice has not yet been properly conveyed to the government and judiciary. A judgment was handed down as if their eyes were covered, looking at us as if we were enemies of society. At one time, when kidnapping and confinement began to become a topic of conversation, the media, which had thoroughly concealed this from the public, reduced their reports regarding the Family Federation and became quiet. However, the media, empowered by this ruling, have begun to repeat the biased reports they clamored about 3 years ago. It is as if they are repeating the same stories, covering everything like wallpaper, trying to blind the entire nation once again. I prayed earnestly on that first night, wondering if society as a whole was mercilessly tearing apart a flock of believers who are innocent as sheep. However, beloved members, there is something I want to share to you. We are not defeated. After the ruling, I monitored the situation while worrying about the reaction of Heavenly Japan members, and I was surprised by one thing. It is only natural to feel deep shock, sadness, and to shed tears. However, the reality is that voices crying out, "It starts now, from this moment we begin," are far more numerous than expected. As president, this was truly surprising and joyful. It is natural to have an anxious heart. That is by no means a bad thing. However, the members of Heavenly Japan are awake, standing firmly on the ground. They are looking at what must be done now. My brothers and sisters, Heavenly Japan has not died. Of course, it is a great pain to lose the church facilities, which were the basis of our prayers and activities in a single moment. However, I am certain we will surely overcome this as well. In fact, that appearance is already manifesting. Around 400 second-generation young people from across the nation gathered voluntarily to hold a press conference. They spent the time with hearts as if they themselves were receiving the judgment. However, they did not run away. They spoke the truth. My brothers and sisters, please give a big round of applause to them. They are truly wonderful young people possessing courage and truth without pretense. Heavenly Parent, please encourage and bless them again and again. And please give a big round of applause for True Mother, our pure waters have become one with True Mother, and we have shown and proven before history. In addition, at the Shimonoseki Church, on the very morning after decision for dissolution was made, the members conducted their street cleaning service without change. This is just one example. However, I believe this appearance is the symbolic image of faith of Heavenly Japan. While there are times we cry out loudly, but there are times when we have to show uninterrupted advance through silent practice without wavering. Furthermore, Mr. Kawahara, who is conducting street speeches while continuing a 3-day fast, immediately established a street speech course heading toward the Supreme Court and has already begun his activity. Beloved members, at this place, I would like to recall the words of True Mother. True Mother spoke as follows. God's providence does not proceed according to human thoughts. However, God surely leads us to the path of victory. Looking back, the providence has always advanced through paths different from human expectation. When Joseph was sold into Egypt, it looked like a defeat. When David was hiding in a cave, he looked like a guerrilla or a bandit. When Jesus carried the cross, he appeared as a condemned criminal being punished for his own crimes, and the disciples fled in despair. However, through those events, God moved history. The course of true parents was the same. 6 imprisonments and countless misunderstandings and persecutions. Now we must change the number of imprisonments to 7. Nevertheless, providence never stopped. Beloved brothers and sisters and members, at this moment, there's only one thing we must do. It is a prayer for the sake of others. Brothers and sisters around the world, please pray for members of Heavenly Japan. And pray for the completion of Heavenly Parents' providence. Let us pray for the victory of the golden age of Holy Mother Han, True Mother. Heavenly Parent has not given up on the history of your providence, and we are still standing within that history. In this place of Cheonshim prayer, we must gather our hearts and offer devotion and prayer for Heavenly Parents so that we can fulfill Heaven's will and rebuild Heavenly Japan by becoming one in heart. Heavenly Parent, please let this trial be the starting point, the new beginning of the door to a new beginning of the providence. Please guide Church of Heavenly Japan. Please protect blessed families throughout the world, and let us walk with true parents, and let us go out to the world and testify the fact that we are people of heaven. I hope that blessing of Heavenly Parent will be with all blessed families around the world. Let us become one with True Mother and move forward until the end. Thank you. This was a message from our brother Hori Masaichi. It is a desperate shout out to heaven and earth. Today, we also heard the master from Panama. With his 3,500 disciples, he resolved that he will move forward with Holy Mother Han. Holy Mother Han's trial, the tribulation that she's walking, is very expensive, and let us pay that expensive payment, and let us go and revive and resurrect in a greater number. If Heavenly Japan gave everything out, now we will see miraculous event occurring where we will restore all the churches back. Even in the monks, in Buddhism, even in the Christianity, they are shouting to become one with Holy Mother. We will make that happen. receiving strike first and then taking back, which is heaven's strategy. We must witness that strategy. We will see that strategy. And living Heavenly Parents' work will never stop and only continue one after the other. Yesterday, we read True Parents' words. This place is a place of tears. It is a place where you cannot stop crying. And even when you cry and cry, you cannot help yourself. You cannot explain. You cannot stop those tears. It is such a place. This resentment, this injustice, this heart of anger, we must understand this emotion as greatest value that we can. We must know that how precious this is, and we must have the heart to be responsible for our hearts. And once that heart settles down in the center of your heart, Heavenly Parent can finally, after 6,000 years of wailing and crying and with the sadness, Heavenly Parent can inherit His heart to us. This is the place where we can inherit Heavenly Parent's heart. Only the heart that we will bring joy within this universe. Such heart, such conviction must stay within your heart. We must never forget the sad heartache of heavenly providence that Heavenly Parent have experienced. And these words are given to us yesterday, and we must realize this injustice, this anger, this feeling that we have, the righteous feeling that we have is a precious value that we hold. And from now on, now it's our turn to move forward, to fulfill heaven's will, so that we can witness the miracle. As long as we move forward without wavering, without being tired, living Heavenly Parent will absolutely come to each and every one of us, each and every one of our families within our church, so that we can begin from our family. And if we do that, Heavenly Parent will come down and work. True Father promise, True Father will come down, True Father will give revelation, True Father will work, True Father will give us the power. Now we will see greater miracle happening. So please, believe in this, my brothers and sisters. Have faith, my brothers and sisters. And this church will become the place where we will hear, listen to testimonies from brothers, sisters, the chosen people around the world. We will be glorious. We will be joyful together. We will be happy together. We will be create Cheonshim in one heart. Cheonshim will be settled down. Cheonshim represent entire human body. And we must have Heavenly Parents in the head part. And we must align with Heavenly Parents and cry with them and move forward, having the same emotion, same heart, same thoughts, same mind, same action. That is occurred. That is established right now at this moment. And as we come to the 14th year of Cheonshim, where we attend Heavenly Parents substantially, we must absolutely become one with Heavenly Parent, one with True Parents, and we must focus and enter that realm of focus. And let's bring that time, bring that atmosphere here right now. Aju, thank you. Let us offer another big round of applause to President Lee Ki-sung for giving us grace-filled message. Thank you very much.